was a stunning upset in last Tuesday's Democratic congressional primary in St. Louis.
Cori Bush, a progressive activist and veteran of the racial justice protest movement, defeated 10-term incumbent Congressman William Lacey Clay in the Democratic primary from Missouri's 1st Congressional District.
It is historic that this year of all years, we're sending a black working class single mother who's been fighting for black lives from Ferguson all the way to the halls of Congress.
And joining us now is Democratic congressional nominee from Missouri's 1st District, Cori Bush. Make some noise, pay homage. Let's go.
Give it up for Cori Bush, y'all, in the building. Cori, how you doing today?
The hotline is on.
Amazing. I'm amazing. Look, I'm so excited to be here. You all are like just phenomenal.
Well, listen, that's high praise because you are phenomenal. We can see you're still glowing from the win. What did it feel like to win? Because like you've been doing the work, you've been on the ground at Ferguson, but the problem is right now your name is just popping off. Like people who did not know about you, you're just getting an attention you should have gotten before. So what does it feel like to have, your whole life trajectory changed by winning? Like, have you accepted it? Is it overwhelming? Talk to us. Walk us through it.
It's all of that. I've accepted it, kind of. It's overwhelming because I'm like, how did what just happened? Because you work so hard and for so long, and it's like things just don't always seem to line up. But then all of a sudden, like this thing happened. And let me say, they called my race for my opponent at 1% reporting. So it was like, oh, you lost. Right. And so everybody was like, huh? And then all of a sudden, it's like, you won. Oh my God.
It out. When they said at the 1% that you lost, like what was going, like, in your head, you're like, oh, okay, I lost. Because we've all been there, certain periods of our life, you think you're going to get something, and then right away it's like, nah, it's not, this is not for you. What kept you going?
Look, I was saying to myself, this is 1%. So if they want to fight me, we'll fight. Because I want to see, you got to give me some more numbers. I didn't lay down before the tanks. I didn't lay down before, they put the guns in front of my face. I wasn't laying down for 1%. You got to show me some better numbers because I was out there on those polls watching people still in line. People were still in line, getting in line at 7 o'clock in the evening. So no, I'm like, y'all waiting.
I feel you on that.
Like Jesus said, like right now you getting the name recognition, like you in front of the camera more. What has the journey been like getting there though? You know what I mean? Because like you've been doing the work, and like break down Ferguson and St. Louis as a whole for the people that haven't been keeping up.
Yeah, so Ferguson, for people that don't know, Ferguson is a part of St. Louis. People try to separate it, but it's a part of St. Louis. It's in St. Louis County, and we have some of the same problems all over the country. Police brutality. High crime. Ferguson isn't as bad, but St. Louis, high crime, high, homicides, high poverty, all of that kind of stuff. And so, just struggling for so long, I just remember like I didn't know, and I still really don't know what it's like to not struggle, working low wage, being unhoused, all of these things that so many of us go through, being a survivor of domestic assault and sexual assault, just being through all of that, and then still doing that and protesting, going out on the streets, standing up before these riot cops and tear gas and everything, and then being treated like a terrorist in your own community. Now, let me look, they treated us like terrorists. We were heavily surveilled. We lost lives. We lost some of our activists. I myself have had my cars shot up. I've had 3 vehicles. All 3 of them have been hit with bullets, over the last few years. I've been run off the road. I've been targeted in so many different ways, received so many death threats, had death attempts, all of that. But the thing is this, I keep getting back up going to fight because if they stop us, that's how they've stopped other people. If I let them do this to me, then my community won't get what we need. So because I feel like I can do this, I'm going to keep going. And just like my shirt, like the women on my shirt, they kept going. So I got to keep going too.
Who you got?
Yeah,
you got Ida, you got Maya, you got Fannie Lou, you got Harriet. It's the truth. You know what I'm saying? As a heavy shirt. I like that. I like that right there. So, listen, you've been on this journey, but before you even like in politics, like you said, you've been through domestic violence, you've been through sexual assault, you got hit by a cop. Like, bro, you've been through it. Like, what, like you said, you're doing it for the community, but mentally, Like, because there's this whole idea in especially in American culture that black women can survive anything. Black women are the donkeys to save society. Black women are so strong, so brave. But as black women, you don't have a chance to be soft. You don't have a chance to be sensitive. You don't have a chance
Take care of
to
yourself.
like retreat to your mental space. How do you keep yourself going?
So I mean, I love the Lord, so I pray a lot. You know, I have my prayer closet, even if it's sitting right here in this chair right now. I know how to go before the throne, and that's what keeps me. And the other thing is ice cream and buffalo wings, and then
Okay.
you know, ice cream and buffalo wings
At the same damn time.
you know, you gotta, you know, let's keep this thing, you know, in perspective. You know, and then, you know, at some point I have a booth, you know, so all of that, you know, you just gotta do, you know, but I'm just, yeah.
Okay, so now you've opened yourself up for a very controversial question that might ruin your political career. Flats or drums?
I'm sorry, but it's flats for me.
Thank you.
Flats.
Listen.
It's flat.
Listen. I wasn't sure before, but now we definitely got your back.
Listen,
We definitely got you.
I'll put your sign on my lawn. I ain't even in your district. I'll put your sign on my lawn.
Listen, you should have ran off of that. So, but now, shout out to you, RN. You know, shout out to my sister. She's also an RN. What have you learned? I mean, being a nurse, like you have to learn how to deal with people. There's a lot of math and stuff, but it also teaches you, you know, just to be a human and be personable with people. What have you learned as an RN that you can bring into this political game?
Yeah, so it's about serving people. It's about measurable goals. So I know that if you walked in with this issue, I know that this is what we can do to help you to be better before you walk out of our doors, whether it's at the clinic or at the hospital. So it's the same thing. I will, you know, if I am elected in November, which we believe I will be, when I, you know, going into Congress, I know what my community needs, and I'm walking in with that. And then, but the work is to make sure that I start bringing home those deliverables and that people can measure. So, and it's about serving leadership. You know I want to block people from going through the things that I've gone through, because people didn't do it for me. Somebody could have done that thing for me. So since I can, and I don't mind being vulnerable for my community, as long as we get it, you know, look, I'm there. I'm doing it.
That's beautiful.
How does it feel to be part of this like new blood of like this new infusion of like real people in politics? Because like we're New Yorkers, so we were there for AOC, Jamaal Bowman. And these are real people that like
Jamaal
teachers,
Bowman. That's our homie.
You know,
and
people
that
serve the community for real. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And like just this like uprising of real people inserting themselves into politics.
It's crazy. So the thing is, I knew both of them before, you know, so, you know, I ran, AOC and I ran together on the slate before she ever won. And so we were friends. We were like, yeah,
that's our homie right there. Yeah.
You know, and so when she won, I remember just crying so much that night. I had been hit by a car during my race, and so I was on my back. I was supposed to be in New York with her when she won. I was supposed to be there for a whole week, but since I was on my back, I couldn't be. So I just cried in my bed, you know. But then she came to St. Louis to stump for me. But with Jamaal, you know, we knew each other beforehand. We had been doing things together. You know, that's my brother. And it's the same thing when he finally won. So it's like we are this group of people that's just regular folks that, like, the day before we were just trying to make sure that we just loved on our communities. And now it's like, now we're people that can love on our communities and do it in such a bigger way. And so I'm honored and humbled to even be a part of this.
That's beautiful. So right now we got Corona going on, running rampant, like it's decimating brown and black communities everywhere. The government is not doing anything. No one's getting handouts. People are behind on their rent. Small businesses are shutting down. You have a proposal to give people how much money?
$2,000 a month, and it's retroactive.
You gotta break it down for people, because like you gotta remember, Bill Gates thought Tostinos was $22 a bag. So clearly, like, the people with power do not know what life is like.
They're kind of out of touch.
Look. I am someone. I want to be able to pay the rent and still be able to pay for the utilities, you know. And so when we think about, you know, St. Louis is not a place our cost of living is not as high as it is in other places.
Right.
But still, $2,000 a month is not saving anybody from, you know, it's not making anybody rich, you know.
Right.
So like, you know, I pay my rent. Like, if once you pay the rent and you pay the utilities, especially depending on what time of year it is, you know, that $2,000 is gone. So And then for some places like where you all live, that $2,000 is half on the rent,
Shit,
So
even-
That's diaper money.
right, exactly. So right. So I'm just trying to say, give people some type of a relief. And so just, let's just spread that out. So we need $2,000. That is just the universal basic income. But the other part of that is putting more money into social programs, because some people will say, well, we're giving you $2,000. We're going to take money from the social programs because you won't need them because we're giving you the $2,000. No, because bills are greater. Look, I know about bills. I've had so many shutoffs in my past. I've been evicted before. I know what that thing is like, how to get back on, what it takes to get back on your feet. So we need to make sure. And the other thing is people got to buy toilet paper. You got to buy, you have other things that you
Lysol
have to
wipes.
do.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So give people what's $2,000? Give people something to to help.
No. Wait, chill. Corey, you talking a little while right now. We need $45 billion for a jet. You know what I'm saying? That shoots missiles and lasers. You know what I'm saying? That's what we really need in America. Jets with lasers.
That's what
Corey,
lasers.
You know what I'm
now you and Miro have this in common. You both have children. As a mother, how do you feel about them attempting to reopen the schools for with coronavirus still going on? Nope. Not down with it?
I'm not down with it because we're sending kids into a position. Kids are going to be kids and they're going to play with one another. I worked in childcare for more than 10 years. I ended up being the assistant director of a preschool by the time I was done. I know what it's like to try to keep kids away from each other, and I know what it's like just getting through the day,
Right.
no. And then we have schools, some of our schools are already overcrowded. Some of our teachers are already, working 2 jobs. We're telling our teachers, you got to be a medical professional as well, because like the CDC just came out with new symptoms saying that a runny nose is a symptom. So how are teachers supposed to, they're being the medical professional, they're being the parent, they're being the, all of this, no. And we have so many students in our communities who live with grandparents or great grandparents. And so we can't put them at risk by putting children in these schools.
That part. Bro, as a former educator, you are preaching.
It's true.
Yo, it's such a fact. It's like people don't realize when you put 30 kids in a classroom, social distancing is impossible. Like it's impossible. It's not possible. You can't keep kids from touching each other, from playing, from being kids. You're basically saying 1 million kids into school and saying, don't be kids, be robots, sit 6 feet apart, don't move, don't fidget, don't finish your worksheet early.
They are not going to listen. They are not listening.
No.
You know that. Oh,
no, they're not. And some of our communities, like mine, when you have lead, you have lead in the communities, high exposures, we have children going to school that need some extra attention. They have to have that dealt with. We have children being misdiagnosed, that have some issues that need trauma care, that don't have that. So them sitting in a classroom, period, is difficult because we don't treat them, because we don't have the money as a society to take care of them the right way, or at least we haven't done that work yet. So then we say, also put you in position to contract COVID.
Yeah. Speaking of COVID,
terrible idea all around.
Did you contract COVID?
Lord, I had all the symptoms of COVID. I was sick for 2 months. I was hospitalized twice. It was the worst. I've had pneumonia before. I've had the flu before. It was nothing like either one of those.
Talk about it, because a lot of people, that's the phrase that pays. Like, oh, it's just the flu. It's just the flu.
That's what we're saying.
You live through it. Tell them it ain't just the flu.
It's not. And I'm a nurse, so I've seen the flu and pneumonia a bazillion times. This though, let me tell you, this thing played with me. And I would tell my sister, I would call her and I'm like, this thing, I would say it was like, this is evil, because it was, the first day it hit me, it was like a train hit me. I felt like I had a fever. I couldn't breathe. I was dizzy. I was weak. My throat was hurting. I couldn't taste anything. And then it just got worse and worse. But then after it took 10 days before I felt any type of relief. I'm breathing like this, literally breathing like this all day, every day.
Oof.
Like I had to make myself inhale and exhale all day long. I was afraid to go to sleep. I was afraid I would die. And then after about 2 weeks, I started feeling a little better for 2 days, and then it hit me all over again, like it never left. And then it would leave a little bit, then it would come right back. So I went through that for 2 months, and it was a mind thing because it was like, am I really starting to feel better? Is it really going to come back? It was, and I got to the point where I was like, Cori, you're probably going to have to suspend your campaign because you're not getting better. I mean, I was so weak. There were days I was so weak where the cell phone would be laying next to me and I couldn't reach it, but I couldn't pick it up because I was so weak.
God damn. Oof.
Yeah, so it's
We're
not the
glad
flu,
you
y'all.
survived that. We're glad you're still here. Glad
Thank
you
you.
won. And also, shout out to you. You defeated a 50+ year family legacy in Missouri.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Big things over there. What did
You know
that
what I'm
feel
saying?
like? Because, like, so often, especially here, like, we live in New York, and especially where we're from in the Bronx, there are families that have just been in power for years. And it's just like the mother, and now the son, and now the niece. And, like, you're just like, how do we break that
Like a
system? How do
monarchy.
we get someone in there? And you were able to break that. So explain to us, to anyone listening that wants to, like, get into politics and, like, just fight the system that's already been established. What's the first step?
I think that the key for me anyway was being in the community first. I was in the community already. I was working, just working to see change in my community. I was connecting with so many different groups. Through Ferguson, we were able to build this coalition. St. Louis, like a lot of cities, was so segregated, so divided. But when Ferguson happened, the Latinx community, our LGBTQ community, our Palestinian community, all of us, so many different communities, our Asian community, we came together and started working together. We saw the commonalities and we started working together. And so we built that coalition that extended, that we're still working together now. And so building that on the ground, you're able to reach so many people. And that is the group of people that ended up being supporters of mine. And then not only that, I grew up under politics. So I had already worked on campaigns for a lot of years of my younger life. So I had a clue. So I would say for somebody, if you want to get into politics, go volunteer for some campaigns. Get that, that experience and get to know, and then you can see if this is something that I really want to do because you put your whole self out there for the world to see. And then be connected to your community. Like for me, you got to have the respect of the people. People got to know that you got some stick and stay. Because some folks will run for office, and then after if they don't win, you never see them again.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I thought you was working for the community.
Yeah.
And it's like, what happened? Okay. So anyway, but yeah, so that's it. Work on campaigns where that you support what that person believes in, and then get connected to those networks, and then start to decide how you want to run. And then remember, only go after what you want to affect. Like, don't just pick something because it sounds nice or you like how much money it comes with it or any of that. What do I want to affect? So that's what I need to go and run for. And then seeing who's in the seat, because don't just try to knock out somebody because I want that seat. Don't do that. Wait, be where you're needed.
Right,
Got you. So listen, this is the final question for this interview, and it's probably your most controversial one. I hope you're ready. What's your favorite Nelly song?
That's got to be Country Grammar.
Hey,
I'm from the
okay.
loop and I'm proud.
Hey. Listen, it checks out. No one can say she's not from St. Louis.
It's for the loop. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for sitting down and talking to us. Listen, we got your back. Anytime you ever want to come back on this show to talk, you right here, your family. We're so proud of you. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
Keep affecting change in the community. We need more people like you. You're an illustrious guest. Everyone on this show gets a neon sign. What would you like your neon sign to say?
I love people.
She loves people. She loves people.
Right,
She's doing it from her heart. Yo, give it up for Cori Bush. She's making big
Cori
changes.
Bush, y'all.
Support
You know what
her.
I'm saying?
You're going to see her everywhere, all right?
The new
The
wave.
new face, the new wave. Give it up. The homie. Cori Bush, keep doing your thing.